Welcome to Twinin'It. I'm your host, Craig Noble, documentary filmmaker and moto enthusiast. This is the show about everything you can do to and with the Honda Africa Twin adventure sports. And today is a very special day. It's a special episode. It's the COVID-19 Returning the Bike to Canada episode. I left Rancho this morning and made my way into Death Valley. It's kind of cloudy today, but it's still 75, 76 degrees Fahrenheit in the valley, and it's dead. And I like it that way. No looky-loos, abandoned canyons with really choice camping spots, no trees in here. So I brought the ground tent on this trip because I'm heading east from here tomorrow into Utah and then north and hopefully up towards BC where I can get home and get to the safety of Canada. But this canyon, I believe tomorrow morning should be pretty epic, and the bike ride today was awesome. I'm gonna shoot some sunrise, sunset, time lapse. Gonna make some dinner, got some bourbon. I don't know, pretty great. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Made it to Vegas. Death Valley was amazing, and nobody is in Vegas. Vegas is closed. So I'm gonna let this roll down the strip and then off to Utah. That was a little bit brisk this morning. Beautiful, but cold. I didn't sleep very good last night, and if I'm gonna do some more camping on this trip because I'm heading north, I'm gonna probably have to get some more gear if I'm gonna get any sleep for riding. But there is ice on the tent, inside the tent, and on the bike in my water bottle, so it was a little bit chilly. Beautiful. When I got up this morning, like 5:45, the stars were out. It was cloudy last night when I called it, but obviously today it's spectacularly beautiful. Amazing colors and light, and this canyon in particular is one of my favorites. Today's target is a little bit north and a little bit east from here. It was going to be Moab, but they closed Arches due to our friend the tequila virus. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I have another spot in mind. I'm going to have to see how the weather pans out. It's supposed to be getting warmer. Yesterday was a cold ride. I did get rained on coming out of Death Valley and into Vegas. And a little bit of spitting last night, but today is supposed to be nice, supposed to get warmer. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I should be back in Canada and back home. But I will enjoy Utah while I'm here. I'm a fan. Lots of canyons, lots of spectacular beauty to be had here, and should be a great ride. Well, it doesn't get much better than that. That's amazing. That was a beauty day on the bike. A lot of great roads, a little bit of dirt, beautiful sunrise, good camping, a little bit cold, but look what I found. That is literally icing on the cake for today. And that's just begging for some dronage. So I had to cave in yesterday after not sleeping the night before and get a motel. Had to do it if I'm going to ride to Boise today from southern Utah. I needed the rest for sure. That being said, you know, I had a nice hot shower last night, slept good, and it's a little bit warmer out there today than it was yesterday morning, so I'm feeling good. I'm gonna load up the bike, get on the highway. I'm gonna try and put maybe 500 miles in today, and see if I can get to Boise or just before or just after, trying to avoid major centers right now, and stay healthy. So sun shining. My ass is gonna hurt today, but I gotta clear some distance. Well, made it to Idaho, but it's super windy over this pass. It's basically this huge crosswind, really gusty. Really dangerous. I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit. Well, that's probably the worst conditions I've ever ridden in. Take a look at the windshield. Pretty awesome. Just gotta get down the mountain now without incident. So the last 3 days of riding out of Utah have been very cold and not very enjoyable, actually. The weather is colder than it should be for this time of year, and I wasn't even supposed to bring the bike back now. I was supposed to bring it back early May, but thanks to the pandemic, I had to change the plans. It's probably better I bring the bike back now in case I can't cross the border later and flights aren't going. Then at the very least I'll have my bike for the summer, which is a good thing. I've been doing interstate burns the last few days and riding in the vortices of trucks. There's a lot of trucks on the road, not a lot of cars. But yeah, it's just really unpleasant. And my last ride today is 5 hours of secondary roads. So off the interstates, I don't have to listen to those trucks anymore, which is great. I'm about 2.5 hours away from the Canadian border. So if they allow me into the country, I should be safe and relaxed by later this afternoon, which will be great. The bikes perform pretty awesome. It's great on the highway. I would have liked to do some more moto camping, but after the first 2 days of camping, it was just too cold. Every day I would start riding cold, never warm up, and by the end of 10 hours of riding each day, the last thing I wanted to do was camp, and what I really needed was a hot shower and coffee. So yeah, I've just been staying in motels, which isn't great, but it is what it is. Hopefully things today go smooth, and we'll not be riding the bike tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Well, that was a very exciting ride. A lot of good, a lot of bad. What an insane ride. Back up to Canada through COVID times. I don't think I talked I didn't think I talked about at all why I was down there and why I came back. I went down there in early March for spring break to go see my nieces and nephews down in California, and the day after I arrived, all the flights were canceled. California instituted shelter-in-place laws. BC declared state of emergency, which means no flights, except for repatriation flights. But I did have my bike down there, and that was great because riding out the first part of COVID in California wasn't so bad. There's a lot of training, I did a lot of riding, got to spend some more quality time with my rents. But there's sunshine, desert, oranges, lemons to be had. It wasn't bad. It did get kind of weird a couple weeks in, later in March. Partially due to, I think, the lack of leadership in the States around the pandemic, and a heightened sense of paranoia and fear. I felt so I started making plans to get the bike ready to come back north a month ahead of schedule. So I put the Hadenals back on the bike, changed the oil, went through a route that I thought would be probably the safest. I chose not to go straight up I-5, although that probably would have been the warmest and fastest route back. NorCal, coastal Oregon, and Washington got hit pretty bad pretty early in COVID, so I wanted to avoid that. So my route basically took me through Death Valley, Dead Vegas, southern Utah, up to Idaho, up and over into Oregon, where I encountered that very unfortunate and unpleasant snowstorm on the bike. It's quite dangerous, and I don't want to do that again, that's for sure. And then down into Columbia Valley, up Washington, to the Okanagan in BC. And that's where I am now. This is where I pulled my 14 days self-isolation, mandatory isolation, when I crossed the border, and that's where I am now, not in Vancouver. Vancouver, there are no restaurants, there are no bars, there's no live music. There's not a lot of reason for me to be there right now. So this is home for now. It's not such a bad place to be. I got lots of friends, lots of family to visit. It's beautiful. And there's plenty of terrain up here to explore. So there will be more. So stay tuned for another episode of Twinin'It.